Hi everyone, I'm Dima. I want to show you what autonomous IT actually looks like in practice. My simple premise is this. AI becomes genuinely useful in IT when it's connected to your environment. Not when it just answers questions, but when it can move work across the systems you already rely on. So this isn't a deep technical training. It's not a settings walkthrough. It's a short, hands-on look at what happens when AI is wired into your tech stack and can actually execute. Every company I speak to operates across the same four layers. You have system of record. That's where your structured information lives. You have system of action. That's where work is executed. You have a system of communication. That's where people coordinate and ask for help. And you have system of control. It's governance, visibility, approvals, and reporting. Those systems already exist in your organization. The question is not whether you have them. The question is whether they operate as one coordinated engine. This is where I like to redefine what integration should mean. A lot of integrations are basically a dialogue. Systems can exchange information, and that's useful, but it's not enough. The exciting part is when the systems can do things across each other, when communication can trigger action, when institutional knowledge becomes executable, and when the loop closes with governance. That's the difference between a static stack and an intelligent stack. So where does Atera fit into this? We focus on activating the stack through three key layers. First, out-of-the-box omnichannel entry points. People should be able to reach IT and automation from where they already work. Second, orchestration and extensions. This is where you connect the tools in your environment using standard mechanisms like APIs, webhooks, automations, and cloud actions. Third, deep intelligence. This is where your knowledge base, definitions, and playbooks get applied in the flow of work, and where you can trigger custom actions when needed. MCP integrations are one way we connect that intelligence to third-party tools so the assistant can stay context-aware and execute inside the systems you already use. So before we continue the demo, I want to pause for a minute and explain why this works as smoothly as it does. When people see this kind of orchestration, the natural reaction is, how does the AI know what to do? And the honest answer is, it doesn't unless you give it context. This is the part that makes all the difference between a cool chatbot and AI that behaves like a company-aware operator. For Robin, it comes from what we call deep intelligence. As you already know, it has several building blocks. I'll focus on three of them for this specific session. Knowledge base, definitions, and playbooks. I'll start with the first one. Let's start with the knowledge base because this is the most familiar starting point for most organizations. And this is where you store your institutional knowledge people rely on every day. How-to articles, internal standards, templates, in the official way the company does things. The key point is not that Robin can read a knowledge base. The key point is that Robin uses it as the first source of truth of how to behave. So when an employee asks a question, Robin should not default to generic advice. It should first look for what your company already documented. This is how you keep your answers consistent, scalable, and aligned with your actual operating model. Second topic, definitions, also known as custom instructions. Now let's go one level deeper. Definitions are the simplest no-code way to transform Robin from a generic assistant into something that is company aware. Think of definitions as the company operating language. It's the layer that tells Robin like who we are, what we use, and what we mean when we say things. There are three parts inside definitions. Number one, company description. As we unfold, we will see that this is where you write a short, clear description of what your organization does, what teams exist, and how work typically flows. Because by default, Robin won't know your company. If it does know who you are, it can interpret requests in the way your team expects. So you can define it once, and it becomes stable context that influences how Robin answers and how it frames outcomes. Second, below you will see that all the definitions will start with software. Here you list the software used in your organization. For each tool, you add what it's used for. This removes ambiguity. Without this, if someone says open our project tool, Robin has to guess. By definition, it knows Monday is the project tool. It knows which VPN you standardize on. It knows which remote access tool is approved. It knows where knowledge lives. And instead of giving 5 options, it routes you to the company standard. Next, company terms. This is where you define acronyms and internal language so Robin interprets terms correctly in your environment. Even common words can mean different things depending on the company. DM, for instance, can mean a direct message, or it can mean Dunder Mifflin, our company. GPS can be global positioning system, or it can be global procurement system. So you define what those terms mean internally, and that prevents misunderstandings and keeps the workflow aligned. That's definitions. They make Robin company aware before you even start talking about execution. Third topic, playbooks. Now we go to the most interesting part. Knowledge base and definitions give Robin context. Playbooks turn that context into consistent execution. A playbook is where you tell Robin, when a request like this happens, follow this specific sequence in this order every time. And this is also where Robin can decide when to use an MCP integration versus a native Atera action. I want to ground this in the exact playbook we're using for the demo that is just a couple minutes away. Let's focus on a very specific playbook, which is new product rollout orchestration. Trigger, our 0 step. The trigger is simple. A company employee requests to start a new product rollout or product launch. Step 1 is to interpret the user's request, to interpret the intent, and extract the details. The first thing Robin does is interpret the request as an intent to initiate the new product rollout. Then it extracts the key details as mentioned. Product name, target launch, all the details. Step 3, the knowledge is summarized if found. If not found, it will query the notion using an MCP integration. As you can see here, it does exactly this. No confirmation prompt, no extra friction. Then it synthesizes the Notion content into an executive summary. If Notion has relevant content, Robin synthesizes it into a high-level executive summary that clearly answers, is there a standardized process or playbook? What are the phases and milestones? Who owns what and where are the handoffs? What approvals, inputs, and dependencies exists? And everything that is relevant at this specific stage. Step 6 is that we present the executive summary in chat. The Robin will do exactly as described. This gives the employee clarity first before execution starts, and it can define how blueprint should be adjusted or used as is. The next step is to construct a Monday.com creation prompt. Now we go from knowledge to action. Based on the synthesized knowledge from internal KB or Notion, Robin constructs a structured prompt for the Monday.com MCP integration. The prompt includes product name, any dates and constraints extracted, phases and milestones derived from the playbook, responsibilities and ownership, and an instruction to follow a project structure according to standardized process. Next step is to create the Monday project using an MCP. Robin will do exactly as described. It will use the Monday.com MCP integration to create an actual project or board. It builds phases as groups or sections, key tasks based on the process documentation, owners or placeholders per phase where available. Next step is to assign myself to GTM activities. It will add me to the Monday project as a responsible person for all go-to-market activities. It assigns me to relevant tasks or sections that correspond to GTM-related work. Last but not least, we need to notify people if they have some work to do. It will notify me that I have something to do in Monday. There's a new project coming, and I need to do something as a product marketing manager. Now, I'm notified that I'm responsible for all the GTM activities for a given project, my main responsibilities, and next steps. And final confirmation. The Monday project is created. I was notified that I need to do something with go to market strategy. I have notifications sent, and it provides a link to the Monday project. That's the playbook. It's a defined, repeatable sequence. The reason this matters is simple. If you don't encode this, AI will still try to help, but it will make you do the work of steering it step by step every time. Playbooks reduce follow up questions, they reduce ambiguity, and they make execution consistent. Now, bringing it back to the demo. Here's the scenario: a company is launching a new product. The standards for how they do this already exist. They have a go to market playbook in their knowledge base, and they have the project tool where execution happens. The question is, can we turn this institutional knowledge into coordinated execution? Let's do it differently this time. I'm going to run a short demo and talk over it. We're starting exactly where most work starts in real life, in a conversation. In this case, it's the chat, but think Slack, Teams, or email. The point is, it's exactly the place where people already go when they need something done. So I'm going to type a simple request, nothing fancy. I'm basically saying that I'm launching a new product and I need the internal process. Help me do this the right way. Now, watch what happens. Instead of giving me a generic advice, the assistant immediately recognizes that there's institutional knowledge for this and points me to it. Here's on the left, you'll see the Notion link. I'm going to open it. This is the playbook. And this is important. This isn't the AI making stuff up. This is our company standard documented process. Sections, checklists, risk assessment, KPIs, and even the post-launch review. This is what makes the next steps actually reliable because it's grounded in how the company already operates. I'm not going to read the whole thing, just notice how structured it is. That's your system of record in action. Now I'm going back to the chat, and I'm going to do the part that usually takes the longest in real life, turning a playbook into actual execution. And I'll describe the product, and then I'll say one key line. We track GTM projects in Monday. And now you'll see the shift from knowledge to action. Here's the Monday board link, and I'll open it. So this is the board that got created. At this point, the demo stop and say, look, a template. But that's not the point. The point is, can we take the standards from Notion and actually apply them here? So the project is ready to run, not just a blank canvas. So I'm going to ask directly, follow the GTM playbook from Notion and adjust this board accordingly. I want clear owners, dates, tools, the stuff that makes this operational. Now, let's watch the board update in real time. You'll see columns appear for time frame, for tools, for ownership. Some of it is even color coded, which is nice, but the real value is this. It's turning guidance into structure. And here's the next moment that matters: collaboration. I'm getting assigned, I'm getting tagged. The board is no longer created, it's active. People can start working right away without a bunch of back and forth. Now, one last thing, because executives always ask this, cool, but is it governed? So I'm going to check automations. You'll see that there are automation rules already in place: status notifications, date-based reminders. That's the control layer, and we can improve them there. That's what keeps the work from drifting. And finally, I want to prove the loop is closed outside the board. Here's the email notification. I was added, I'm accountable, I'm notified, and the system keeps me on track. So, in a few minutes, we went from conversation to institutional knowledge to a structured execution plan to active collaboration with governance baked in. What you just saw maps directly to the four layers. Communication triggered the request. Institutional knowledge was retrieved from the system of record. Execution happened in the system of action. And governance closed the loop through automation and notification. There was no new platform, no replacement of your existing tools, just coordination across the stack that you already have. What does it mean? When systems cooperate, people stop spending their time on tool mechanics and handoffs, and they focus on outcomes. Institutional knowledge becomes usable in the flow of work, and execution naturally accelerates. And that's what we mean by autonomous IT. This is not another chatbot. It's an execution engine across your stack. That's the core idea. One entry point, multiple systems, and real execution. And this is how we let people work. Thank you.